Hi, Yvonne. Kamala Harris was born to an Indian mother. She doesn't tend to identify publicly very strongly with her Indian side, but there's absolutely no doubt that her mother would have had a great influence on her. Her mother was from Tamil Nadu. She moved to the US at the age of 19, which is extraordinarily young, especially, for a young teenager, essentially, to be traveling across the seas at such a young age in the 1960s. We know that Kamala spent holidays back in Tamil Nadu with her extended family. We know that she's got quite strong links with her family. She has occasionally talked about her Indian heritage. There was a very famous video that she did with Mindy Kaling during her campaign to become vice president. But usually she does tend to identify more strongly with her Black American roots, her Black American side from her dad.
Well, if she does become president, she will be a trailblazer in many respects, ticking a lot of firsts boxes. For the South Asian diaspora, why is seeing a person like Kamala Harris in a leadership position so important?
I wrote about this recently. I was really curious to find out what impact she might have. We know that when you see someone who looks like you in positions of power, it has the effect of making you feel like, hey, I could do that too. Now I've seen someone who's doing it, that lights a fire in me. So I spoke to some currently serving members of parliament in Australia who are of colour. Now, this is really important to note because Australian politics has traditionally been very monocultural, and that is, it's been very white Australian. But in the current parliament, that was quite unusual in that it did actually elect a number of parliamentarians of colour. So there are actually 6 serving parliamentarians across both the lower house and the upper house from a South Asian background. So I reached out to them and spoke to 3. I spoke to Marine Faruqi, the deputy leader of the Greens, and I spoke to Michelle Anandaraja from the Australian Labor Party, which is the party that's in government, and both said that they were really quite emotional to see Kamala Harris ascend to the vice presidential position. To see someone who looked like them, who represented the kind of background they had, it really meant something. But in some cases, people have moved away from a position of unwavering support because they recognise that it's more important, like what people's policies are more important than being able to, relate to their ethnic background. I also spoke to some aspiring politicians who said that they really liked that Kamala Harris was a trailblazer, but again, they wanted to see someone who reflected their own policies.
So interesting to talk. Thank you, Aarti Betigeri.
Thank you.